Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and today we are going to, as part of our 30 days of ornaments, we are going to make some hanging bells. Now, to do this, I'm just starting with these little hard plastic, I think of them as medicine cups, but they're just little baby shot glasses, I guess. But I get them from the dollar store, and I use them here in the shop for mixing up little bits of different colored paints and solutions, and they're just an awesome little thing to have on hand. Today, they're going to become our craft. So there's a couple of, like a little baby step to get started, because this is hard plastic, and it's hard to maybe drill a hole or punch a hole in it. So I have kind of a quick little tip for those of you that might not have a lot of special equipment. I was thinking I was going to get out my wood burning tool. Then I remembered I didn't know where it is. I tried looking for an earlier craft and I couldn't find it. It's here somewhere. I just don't know where. But then it occurred to me, most of you don't have a wood burning tool. So I've got an easy fix for that. Let me pull you in for the first couple of steps and we'll get started on this one. I've got my little cup and I have a hot glue gun, because let's face it, if you are a crafter, you may not have a wood burning tool, but you got glue guns. And we're just going to take it, put it in the center, and slowly let it melt. Now I do have a little punch here just to make sure, but you can see it just goes through like butter, and it just creates a nice beautiful hole for us. And I just like to do the hole before I start any of the painting process, just because if I'm gonna mess one up by cracking it or breaking it in the creation of the hole, then I'd like to do it before I've invested in painting it. It's just me. So to get started on this, what I am going to do is I'm taking smooth embossing paste from Fusion, and this is just, the small little size, goes really far, but it's a way of being able to add texture to something. You could use this through a stencil to be able to get, a slight raised stencil design. If you don't have access to this, you don't want to go buy another product, then you could just take regular old paint and paint it rough, right? Don't try and get a smooth finish, paint it kind of rough. You could add some a little bit of baking soda, add some texture to your paint first, or you could skip this entirely because you want a smooth bell, not an old. I'm gonna make mine look kind of old and a little bit crusty. So that's where I'm going with this. But once you see the entire craft, you get to decide where you want to go. So this is just naturally thick paste. I'm just going to kind of slap it on here, and I'm not being pretty about it. It's going to get covered by my paint, and really what I want is I want it to have that rough kind of texture to it. So I'm not going to be precious. I'm just kind of going in multiple directions, all the things that you're not supposed to do with paint. And then I'm going to leave it to dry. Our little cups have dried, but I just want to add a little bit of detailing on them. Now, I happen to have thrifted a stack of all these little scrapbooking embellishments. I don't really scrapbook, but I figure I can use little embellishments at any time anyway. So I just pick up these things when I see them, regardless. And there's these little tiny discs that I thought I could glue onto the side. I think sequins would work just fine too. That I was thinking might add a little bit of texture to this once it's painted up. I don't know if they're big enough, like thick enough is what I'm wondering. But I mean, worst case scenario is I don't notice them, but I was thinking they might look sort of like rivets. And if I'm distressing, once this is painted up, it might give a little bit of definition. So what I am going to do is get these little guys, these little tabs glued on. Little buttons would maybe work. I mean, you know, go with what you got, right? And then I am going to paint them in gold. I'm going to start off with this gold from, this is Deco Art metallic, which is from Michael's, the local craft store. I'm just using whatever's on my shelf that works. You could spray paint them if you want, but I am looking, even with my paint, to again add a bit of a rough texture so that these don't look brand new. If you're looking for them to be brand new, you could have just spray painted the metallic out the gate. It's really your choice, and you'll see when we're done the final look, and then you decide whether you want to zhuzh them up differently, and that's okay. Make them yours. Well, once again, I somehow didn't record when I thought I was, and now I'm recording when I don't think I was. But what in essence I'm doing is I'm stringing a bead onto my jute, and then I am stringing that jute inside my little cup, my little bell. And that hot glue on the top of that bead is going to anchor that bead and that string to my little bell, so that as I am stringing a second bead on, this is going to become my little clapper, and I can glue that one in place so that it's just kind of hanging right at the rim of that little bell. You're going to be able to see it, which is going to be perfect, and I'm going to be able to cut the excess cord away. So that inside bead keeps that in place and keeps it the length that I need. And now it's just about assembly. We've got our little bells, and I want to kind of stagger them a little bit so they hang just a little at different lengths a bit, so we have a cluster of them. And I like having those little red berries in there because we'll mimic that with some red up at the top as well, so it kind of ties in together. So we want to have a little bit of greenery happening here, so we can take some of that, and I want to cluster those berries in there. So I'm kind of wrapping them around that stem just to kind of help keep it in place. And then I am going to just kind of come into the back, holding that tight, and just kind of glue it a bit. I'm gonna anchor it a number of ways, but I just want to make sure that's kind of holding. So we're gonna let this dry, add a little bit more greenery, I think. Maybe glue a couple of our little red berries in, and then likely add a bow. This is what we have so far, right? We've got our little, we've got our little bow and our 3 little bells. And what I want to do now is just add in a little bit of greenery right there. So it's a little fuller in the center. And then we'll add in a couple of berries, and I'm going to wire in a bow. I'm gonna use this one because I think it's kind of fun. Okay, and I'm just gonna have a nice big bow, and I'm just kind of holding here, kind of seeing how long I want the dangle to be. So I'm gonna take my ribbon this way, take it up this way, so I'm crossing over in front, and then down the same length. I'm going to take my little bit of super fine wire, and I'm just going to wrap that around. And pull that nice and tight in the back. And then I can use those wire strands to tie it on in the back. Okay, so I'm just going to get these final little pieces. There it is. I'm going, where did that little piece go? Attached on here. Oh, see, it just needed that piece down the middle. We can attach our bow. And then a couple of berries if we need them. And there's our finished little bells. I like the antiqued look on them. Again, you could just do them in bright metallic, like the silver, the gold, whatever's going to work best for your tree, for your decor. But they're just kind of a super sweet little ornament to be able to hang on the tree, and they're very light. So, you know, you're not adding a lot of weight to the tree. You could decorate them up with whatever ribbons make sense to you, however you'd like. Let me know what you think of this one. Always looking forward to hearing from you, and definitely looking forward to seeing you on the next one. If there's a next one. I don't know. I don't think this is last, so there should be. See you on that one. Take care.